What's good, everybody? Dylan D Trades here, and this is going to be my first official YouTube video. Yes, round of applause. um, the purpose of this channel, at least for right now, is just going to be more so for journaling purposes for myself. You know, I want to be able to see the progress with regards to my analysis as well as my mindset. um, you know, basically journal the journey that I'm on with trading, and then look back at it maybe a couple months down the line and just see the progress that I've made, as well as for back testing purposes as well. Um, you know, I would like to have a track record of my trades. So that's the purpose of this channel. You know, something I'm also just getting into, which is um, I've just recently purchased a funded challenge account. So I'm going to be journaling my trades with regards to the funded challenge for, you know, to look back at it and analyze and see, what played out correctly, what I needed to work on, and just track the journey of, you know, taking and passing this funded challenge. And yeah, I'll just do my best with it. But to start it off, a little introduction about myself. My name is Dylan. I'm from a small island in the Caribbean called St. Kitts, and I am a trader. No, I'm not a full-time trader, but we work in there. We work in there, taking it in strides. Um, but yeah, I trade USDJPY as my main pair, and I've been dabbling with gold. So with regards to my analysis for today, I'll be looking at gold and USDJPY. Now, with regards to, you know, me putting out videos, I'll be putting out videos maybe once or twice a week, at least once at the beginning of the week to see my analysis for that week ahead, and then another at the end of the week to showcase my trades. But if I um, if I am taking a trade with regards to the funded challenge, I will record that and upload it to my channel, just so that at least I have the recording there for my analysis beforehand and my analysis after, the trade outcome afterwards. But quickly getting into it now, we are currently looking at USDJPY and we are on the monthly time frame. So zooming out, as you can see, the US dollar has been in a huge bullish run. We have price pushing up, creating a higher low, and then pushing further up. And now we are currently in a pullback phase. Yeah, we are currently in a pullback phase from this um, impulse movement here. Now, like, a little closer to the current price, you can see, we've had this big bearish candle from November, as well as another bearish candle from December. But then we have a pause in the market within in January. Yeah, we have somewhat of a doji candle formed here, and then we have this bullish, big bullish engulfing candle to this candle from February. So looking at this, you would expect price probably to continue pushing higher up a little bit, considering the fact that the previous month ended bullish. But as I said, we are currently in a pullback phase right now, and then with everything that's going on with the dollar, they're trying to get inflation down, and with that happening, it means that they're trying to devalue the US dollar. So we do expect price to continue to drop further. Anything. So one thing to notice with where price is currently at, we had price create an area of resistance, within the same region, which is at, let's say, 136, 830, and you can see prices reacting to that same area currently. If you go down to a weekly time frame, we can see that we have this exhaustion zone on the weekly time frame. I'll put this blue, maybe a little lighter than that. Yeah. So we have this exhaustion zone on the weekly time frame that price had a nice reaction to. You know, we had a wake up into this zone. So there are several 3 points where price actually came into this zone. We had price came into it with this bullish candle, then price wicked up into the exhaustion zone with this smaller bearish candle, and then we had another one into this exhaustion zone last week with this huge wick into the exhaustion zone, and then price pulled back and ended up closing bearish. So far for the week, price has just been continuing with that bearish momentum, price pulling back, um, price going bearish, coming at the start of the week, and then now we are currently pulling back at the middle of the week. Well, coming to the end of the week now. So depending on how this closes, we could either see price continue bearish for the following week, or we may end up seeing price, if it closes with this huge wick, we could end up seeing price continuing bearish. One thing to take notice as well is how small these bearish candles are. There's no momentum in these bearish candles, whereas you could see, we had a lot larger of bullish candles as opposed to bearish candles. So this is a sign that we could see price continuing um, bullish for the time being, but it all depends on how this candle closes. So now moving down to the daily time frame, looking at the structure for the daily time frame, we can see that price was making lower highs and lower lows from last year right down until January, where we ended up farming our first higher low. And then once price formed the higher low, we broke above this area of resistance. We came back, retested, and then continued to push higher into that weekly exhaustion zone. And now we are pulling back into this, previous higher high point that the daily time frame made, price made on the daily time frame. Now, as we can see with current price, we are currently experiencing some exhaustion within this daily exhaustion zone. We have, let's see here, get my arrow tool. We have one, two, and most recently, this third exhaustion wick, bearish exhaustion wick. And this is a sign that price does not want to break through this exhaustion zone, and we could see price moving higher. Now if you go down to a lower time frame, we're going to see uh, a lot of broken resistance within this particular area, and we could analyze that to be able to get into a bullish move either tomorrow or um, next week, the beginning of next week. But that is something very important to look at. Prices pretty much consolidating within this entire region. But what I do want to point out is that this was the previous lower low, and then this was the higher low that price made. Once price came back into this resistance point right here, let me get the average of that resistance point. I would say just about here. We ended up creating another higher low. So as you can see, the daily time frame is making consecutive higher lows, which you know is a sign of bullish momentum stepping into the market. So overall, we are still bearish based off of the weekly time frame, the monthly time frame. Well, the monthly time frame is overall bullish, but current price is bearish. The weekly time frame, we currently we are currently bearish, but on the daily time frame, you know, current price is bearish, but the we've begun a bullish movement. So let's go down to the 4 hour time frame. So on the 4 hour time frame, we can see that we broke below this area of this support, the support level. We broke below, price retraced. Price retraced to a 50% from this high to this low. We had a 50% retracement, and then once we had this huge exhaustion wick, bullish exhaustion wick, price ended up tanking right into this daily zone here, and this is where we start to see a lot of the exhaustion wicks on the daily time frame, um, showcasing on the 4 hour time frame. If we go down to a 30-minute time frame, we will get more details within this region, and we can see um, price breaking resistance on the lower time frame and beginning a transition to start a bullish movement. But we are still overall bearish on the 4 hour time frame. We haven't broken any major lower highs, but we are seeing price beginning to break above this area of resistance. Now there isn't a confirmed break of the resistance based off of the 4 hour time frame. So we are still sticking with the bearish bias, but coming down to the 30-minute time frame, we can see much clearer that we have this trend line that formed here on the lower time frame. Price broke above the trend line, as well as we have an area here of resistance that we can confirm that price broke this resistance based off of these two bullish candles. So one, two, and then we still had price continuing to push higher afterwards. So this confirms that price broke this area of resistance on the lower time frame. So currently, what I would be looking for is a retracement back into this resistance for a further bullish push, or depending on what happens. We don't have to have a retracement back into the resistance. You know, what would be much better is, price retrace at least to a 38.2%. It could retrace further, but once we get that pullback, for us to be able to, go down to a much lower time frame and see the transition to price being bullish, or even on the 30-minute time frame, if you see like um, a pullback and then maybe like a bullish variation or a bullish engulfing candle, we could get in for the buy to take price higher up. But going back to the 4 hour time frame, as I said, we haven't broken this area of support within this exhaustion zone. We've yet to break this area of support. So we can't say that price is going to continue to push lower. We also haven't broken any major um, areas of resistance. You know, we have pushed above this area of resistance. Yeah, we have pushed above this area of resistance, and as we can see from the MA, we still are bearish. So to say take a bullish trade um, would be going against the overall bearish bias of the 4 hour time frame. So you're trading against the trend essentially. But if you was to draw a trend line from this point here, let me see, to utilizing these areas here, we could see currently, price interacting with this trend line here. So it all comes down to how price reacts within um, this region here. If price pulls back and then we get that bullish confirmation and then price break above, we could see another pullback before price continue to push higher. Afterwards, at least we will have a confirmed break above this resistance to confirm that price will potentially continue to push higher afterwards. But that's basically my analysis for USDJPY. Going into gold, let's go to the monthly time frame. So we can see that gold has been stuck within you know, this entire range here. So right between here and right between here. We did break out for a short period of time, but then we quickly came back into this entire range. How big is this range? So yeah, this is like a 20 2800 pip range that gold has been stuck in from since 2020. But looking at current price, we've had these huge bullish candles suggesting that price wants to continue to push bullish. And with everything that's happening now with um, the Federal Reserve and the US dollar, there's a lot of fear in the market. So we could see um, a pump of investors into gold, because we know gold is a safe haven for investors. During times of fear, persons invest in gold, and that will carry the price up. As you can see what happened here from 2019 into 2020, especially when COVID came around, you had a lot of persons, a lot of fear in the markets. So a lot of persons ended up, buying into gold. And that's why we had this huge bullish run that happened here. So we could potentially, with a market crash looming, um, we could potentially see investors pumping into gold again and another bullish run happening. So going down into the weekly time frame has the clearest structure on gold for right now. So as you can see, we had this clear downtrend that happened on gold, and then we have that break of the downtrend with this huge bullish run, a pullback right into this previous lower high, and now we have price pushing back up. So let's mark this out. So as you can see, this retracement was at let's see here, a 38.2% retracement, which is a valid price retracement zone or PRZ zone. Not only that, we had price interact with this MA that I have here nicely. We created a bullish engulfing candle, and even though we had price pull back, look at the wick on this candle. Look at the exhaustion on this candle. It's bearish exhaustion. You know, no wonder price ended up pushing like this. Price came all the way down at the beginning of last week, and then quickly came back up and closed bullish. So you would expect gold to continue that bullish momentum right into this week. Um, but we are getting some reaction within this entire exhaustion zone, especially based off of these three candles that happen here. We had exhaustion in this candle, exhaustion in this candle, and exhaustion in this candle. So gold is at a very interesting level, you know, a level that we have to monitor for sure. But overall, for the weekly bias, we are bullish on gold. Looking at the daily time frame here, we can see, you know, price is very tight. It's hard to make out what happened during this region. We had price continuing to push lower, and now we see price coming back up right into the weekly exhaustion zone. Not only that, what I'll do is take note of this area of support that price broke, and now we having price respecting it, that broken support, and potentially finding resistance. But we cannot confirm that until we see a bearish candle on the daily time frame right at this zone to say that price is respecting the resistance. But going down to 4 hour time frame where we have a clearer view as to the movement of price, we could see we had this huge bullish movement. Like, you don't see any bearish candles happening here. You had a lot of wicks, yes, but price just kept pushing higher and higher and higher without giving any sort of pullback until we reach this point. Now, even with price retracing back to retracing in this area here, we only came down to a 23.6% before we had this huge bullish candle, which at 23.6% on a fib is a continuation zone. So this isn't considered a valid higher low, but it is a higher low, or a low that's higher than the previous low. So what I am seeing currently is that we are at an area of support on the 4 hour time frame. As you can see here, prices reacting to this area of support. We had price bounce off of it and push higher, but you could see the bearish momentum coming into play here with these bearish candles. It's like price push up, and then immediately we have bearish candles form. Price try to push up again, we form a lower high here. Oops, forgive me, I'm using my trackpad. We have a lower high here that form, and then we have this bearish, big bearish candle, bearish engulfing candle that formed as well. So if we go down to the 30-minute time frame, we have a much clearer view as to what's going on. And what we can do is we can draw a trend line based off of the bearish candle that we see here as right to this bearish candle here. So what could potentially happen, especially since we are farming higher lows. So let's change the color of these to red. You know, especially since we're farming higher lows right now, the MA is showing that we are still overall bullish, but as you can see, it's flattening out. Now, this doesn't confirm that price will begin to push lower. Um, what could potentially happen, and I'm not trying to predict anything, it all comes down to you reacting to the market, and that's pretty much what I've been um, implementing, is just reacting to the market and not trying to predict it. But we are seeing higher lows form here, and then if we draw a trend line from this bullish candle to this bullish candle, put this black, we could see price respecting the trend line, and the trend line basically falling in the same direction as this MA that we have here. And as I said, this line here that I have marked out is that daily broken support. So we are at a very interesting level to see what gold is going to do. Gold could come down, respect this trend line again, and then push higher and into this counter trend line, potentially respect this and continue lower, and we end up creating some sort of a wedge, like here. We have this sort of candlestick pattern forming, market pattern, sorry, not candlestick pattern, but market structure pattern. And if we are looking at patterns, we can say that this could just be a bullish wedge that's forming. So we have price breaking, well, creating the lower highs, but eventually, if price respects these higher lows, we could see a break above and then a pullback into the broken trend line and then a push higher. So for now, I'm just going to wait and see how price plays out. It doesn't make sense rushing into the market trying to take a trade when there isn't a clear sign as to what price is looking to do. So it's better, if we go to the 4 hour time frame, there isn't any sort of confirmation happening. You can see, price making resistance and support, resistance and support. So the best thing to do is just literally sit and wait until we have a clear idea, like price shows us exactly what it is that it wants to do, whether it wants to break below this trend line here and retest and then continue to push lower, or break above, retest and then continue the bullish movement that it's been on for the past few days. So let's see what happens tomorrow. I'll do one more video updating as to how the week ended up ending and if I take any trades tomorrow. Thank you for watching my video and stay tuned for the next one.